What's up out there, YouTube? How's it going? We're back for another spoiler review, and this time it's for Mad Max Fury Road.
What's going on, YouTube?
What's up?
It's SEL0320, Joe Johnson 030. I'm in the way, ninja.
Yeah, so we got the opportunity to see the movie earlier. We got like a premature premiere. So
we got an advanced screening.
For
2 days early. Thanks to thecityvault.com. Thank y'all. I really want to appreciate y'all for being able to give us not only one free ticket, but 2 free tickets to be able to see this. So we definitely want to give y'all a shout out. I think it's specifically for the DMV area, but it might be some other places. But if you want to go check it out, check out the Vault, thecityvault.com on Google, and you should be able to definitely check it out. But this is going to be our non-spoiler section. We got a full spoiler section review that we did while we were in the car. But this movie was amazing, y'all. This was anybody that was, I guess, a 90s, 80s action like junkie. This brings this tenfold, and the director George Miller comes back after 30 years from doing this old franchise with Mel Gibson, Mad Max franchise, to rejuvenate it with not only great actors in Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy, but they built a world that immerses itself into you. Like, there's never a point that you're not like feeling a dread of danger, but at the same time, like, man, I can't believe how intense everything is at a continuous basis. So I guess cinematography wise, visually, I've heard that 80% of this movie was all practical and just baseline effects. There's no CG at all. And so they're in the desert most of the time. As far as the locations, I have no idea, because there was never a point I was looking, I was like, where are the cities? There was no cities except for one. And like how they treated the cinematography and how they treated the location of it and the practical effects, that they were amazing. The action sequences were amazing. They were so extravagant that there were cameras, I guess, they were jerry-rigged everywhere, and George Miller has said there was over 144 hours worth of full footage just from the cameras alone. So I think that this is a milestone, but even more so than that, they did a great job with, I guess, the score. The score, it fit really well with this, the mode of how they did the scope of this, and I really could appreciate it, because I was surprised going into it. When we first went in and we saw the first action sequence, I was like, it's gonna be intense like this? It's just crazy. And Tom Hardy, he knows how, he's like, to me, like a good person to film, because he can be so intense at times, but at the same time, with his eyes and his expression, he can tell a story too. And the action sequences, the first part of the action sequences, he was literally stuck as an ornament on a car that you've seen through the trailers, and you tell through his eyes, like, man, he is either frightened or about to lose his mind through what's going on. And it's just so well done. But what was your take on, I guess, the cinematography and action and the score, I guess?
I'll talk more about the cinematography, because like they had some, as you mentioned, I mean, they had some really good shots, you know. There's one sequence where it's actually it's towards the beginning where you're actually like it's just the road before you, and it's like they attach the camera to the hood of a car, and it's just going forward, and all you see is the road going forward, and it's like you're driving. Yeah. And it's that shot was probably my favorite out of the entire movie. And some of the places they went to, like it's all taking place in like a desert, but the terrain in the desert changes throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like there was like times where it seems like it might have been shot in Arizona or some type of desert like that, and then it's like these huge sand dunes that you'll probably see somewhere in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So the scope of which they took this was amazing. The costume design was amazing, spot on as well. Got the costume design, and not only that, but the vehicles and how they were rigged is like pretty much like siege weapons.
I've never seen anything like that.
There was a lot of thought in the design, especially in the concept work and everything. So as far as the look and the scope of this movie was amazing.
Yeah.
Action and the plot was not cliche. Never in a point in this movie where I thought like I kind of had like I just like had an idea of where they were gonna take it. It didn't meet any of those expectations, and I think it was a good thing. I found that a very good thing because it surprised me at every turn, and it was not a cliche movie. Each character, you know, was pretty much life was in jeopardy every moment. Like I didn't know who was gonna live, who was gonna die. I couldn't predict that throughout the course of the movie. And that's one thing that I really enjoyed. There are also funny moments, but I think what made them so funny is the fact that I'm not sure if they were like meant to be funny, and it was a funny moment. And like I think you find people more funny at their funniest moments when they're not trying to be funny, and I think this movie kind of captures that. So there are a lot of peculiar characters, a lot of peculiar moments where it's just like over the top, but at the same time it's very funny.
So that plays into the character design and the plot. So you liking how the scripting was done as well as how they unfolded each character that was kind of different on different levels. Because I guess you had said like there was funny moments. Like yeah, they're going into segue into the acting portion of it. You got Christoph. Nah, I'm about to say Christoph. You got Nicholas Hoult, Charlize Theron, Zoe Kravitz, Tom Hardy, and all these characters are totally different. But I think Nicholas Holt's character was one of the B-boys. His character, and Joe even goes into this in more detail in the spoiler review, he goes through kind of a metamorphosis. And at first you're like, this dude is so out there. And he does his voice so well in changing it that he just becomes this character. And like all of them, they become unfolded characters. But the characters evolve throughout the progression of the movie. And I think that was a surprising thing, like for me, because I was thinking that it's going to be kind of like a one straight horse, you know? I think that you got one character doing this, you got one character doing that. That's what I'm used to now. Instead of these characters have depth, and at the same time, the uses of CG is not conducive of the action. There was one sequence that came up, and it was a sand sequence, and I've never seen anything like it. And that was great CG. The only reason why they use that CG is because that's not something they could recreate. And that's what it used to be back in the day, that they only used CG for stuff that they could not do. It wasn't for a whole unfolded thing for everything. And they used as much practical effects as they could, but this one sequence, when you see this sandstorm and you see the action that happens within it, I've never seen anything like it. Like, it was mind-blowing. But at the same time, while this sandstorm is really happening, after that point, every single character, you find out that there are more to what's happening. Because whoever makes it out of the sandstorm, like with Tom Hardy's character, of course, you know he's Mad Max. Like, he does such a good job of being the paranoia-driven person that, I guess, he doesn't know where to turn. He doesn't know who to trust. All he knows is survival, but at the same time, he will kill you if he needs to. And at the same time, you can tell there's a lot of guilt there from the inside of him that's pure. There's a purity about him, but it's guilt-ridden, it's abuse-driven, and it's had this thirst for just to be able to survive. There's no need for redemption. He comes up with the Charlize Theron's character that's all about redemption, all about a one set focus. And she's a beast, dude. Like, Charlize Theron, she owns this character, and they play off each other really well. But all different characters, like Joe said, like, there are moments that I don't think that they were supposed to be funny, but they were. And that's just good storytelling. Like, sometimes that can naturally come off with chemistry between actors. You know, there's certain cues that'll happen that people can like, oh wow, that was a memorable moment you would never think to be really funny. But I thought the acting was really good in this one. I really liked the way that they embodied their characters. But at the same time, I only named off 4 actors. And everybody else, they still meant something. They still had specific scenes that I never forget, even looking at it again. And so I think that says something about the meat of this movie. So I guess we'll segue into the story. I don't want to talk too much about the story because I feel like they need to watch it for themselves. Like, I feel like this movie, you need to know 3 things. this is on a post-apocalyptic term, but for the first time ever, in my true opinion, is they showed that the people were truly desperate to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when you look at Book of Eli, when you look at like Waterworld, you see glimpses of that. Like, you can see, like, man, they're scavengers, like they'll do whatever they can, but these people are a whole different breed of people. Like, their whole thought process and the way that they interact with the world around them, it's just so out there that I was like, I really feel like this is a whole different world. I don't even feel like this is like a future Earth. I feel like this is somewhere on Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like, they go that far with how the story arc's supposed to be, and I like that. I like that, and that's how you need to go into it, kind of feeling that. That's one definite. But at the same time, there's never a point that you can assure that anybody will live through this movie, and that's the only thing I want to say about going to the story. But what did you want to touch on about the acting and I guess the story before we roll out?
As far as the acting goes, I mean, probably, I think, performance-wise, Tom Hardy, like, this role he's doing as Max I loved it. Reason being because, like, his character does not have that many lines in this movie. For a main character, you would think he has more lines, but he doesn't.
Yeah, sure.
But at the same time, the way he goes about this role, man, is each role that he's done is different, and the way he acts, the way he does his voice, and this role is very iconic, and it's different. I really felt like, though Max was, pretty much kind of like the main character, the protagonist, if you will, the dude was crazy. And you really got a sense of this guy has, some issues. And it was really interesting to watch. And, yeah. I think as performance-wise, he was probably my favorite.
So mine was definitely Charlize Theron's. Joe's was Tom Hardy, but that doesn't mean that everybody else's performance was not also good because they embodied the character so well. And that has to do with scripting. It also has something to do with people that picked the right characters for it. But then having George Miller's presence on it, it kind of brought up this kind of like 80s and 90s action movie feel, and that's what we were missing. That's what a lot of us have been missing, and that's why, to me, I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. I'm gonna give it probably a 10 after I look at it a second time. I just need to digest everything else, because we came out like this is a roller coaster ride that you've never really experienced. Like, there was never a point that the action stopped, but even then, like, the desperation of what could happen to any of these characters, you really felt like anybody could die, and there are certain people that do die, and it's nuts. It's nuts how they treat this movie, and it's probably one of the best action movies I've seen in a good minute. But what was your rating for it?
I gave this movie a 10, everyone. And I would say this was probably the best action movie of 2015 thus far. And actually one of the best action movies I've just seen, period, like, in a while as well. So, I mean, this... it was good, man.
You gotta go watch it.
You have to watch it. The hype is definitely worth it.
Yeah, and I didn't think it would be. I was like, I see a lot of reviews and I hear a lot of good things and it seems interesting. Listen to all these reviews, but I didn't expect to really enjoy it as much as I really did.
Yeah.
It was hype. And we looked at it in 3D. We looked at it in regular 3D, y'all. We didn't look at it in IMAX 3D. We looked at it in regular 3D. And even then, I was like, this is a doggone good movie.
Yeah.
We were in the front of the cut. Like, we were the second row of the whole entire theater looking up like this. But we enjoyed it to the max, Yeah. Oh, you like that? We enjoyed it to the max. That's free for y'all.
That's free. I would say, yeah, is it worth the hype? Yes. Should you go see it? Yes, heck yes. Will we buy it on Blu-ray? Heck yes. Like, it's will we go see it again? Yes. That's how good it is.
Yeah.
So watch it.
Most definitely.
Watch it and then watch a spoiler review. We're cool.
Yeah, kind of.
You love us.
So definitely, if you like this review, please leave a like below for this non-spoiler review of Mad Max Fury Road. If you have any comments about it, if you haven't seen it yet, and at the same time, if you're anticipating watching it soon, let us know in the comment section below when you think about you are too. And thanks everybody for watching. We're about to look at Arrow, hopefully, and maybe do a review on that. Sorry we didn't get to watch the season finale tonight. I heard from a lot of people that it was freaking hype, but I'm about to watch it right now. Later, everybody. Joe, you come with me?
I missed it.